Whoa, Pi Network just dropped a whopping 15% this week, and that's not even the worst part. We're seeing red candles across the board, technical charts screaming danger, and traders holding their breath. But hold up, amid the bloodbath, there's a twist. A $100 million venture fund is rising from the ashes, promising to bring real-world firepower into the Pi ecosystem. Is this just another dip before the rocket launch? Or are we tumbling into a deeper hole? Today we're breaking it all down. Why Pi Network's price has crashed again, what the technical charts are telling us, and most importantly, what this new $100 million Pi Network Ventures Fund really means for the future. Will it save the day, or is it too little, too late? But first, let me throw this question your way. Do you think Pi can bounce back from this major dip before the end of the month? Drop your answer in the comments right now. And if you've missed any of the recent updates on Pi Network, especially after the mainnet launch, you'll find all the juicy stuff linked in the description below. If you believe in Pi Network to the moon, drop that exact phrase in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. We love seeing Pi's global family grow. If you're hyped about Pi Network content, smash that like, subscribe, and share button to support this channel. It helps us bring you even more updates on the Pi ecosystem, price predictions, and mainnet progress. And hey, don't forget to join our Telegram group and Facebook page for daily community discussions and tips. This video is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes. Nothing here is investment advice. And as always, do your own research before making any financial decisions. Alright, let's dive into the full story. So, here we are, watching yet another twist in Pi Network's post-mainnet saga, and this time it's not looking so pretty on the charts. The past week has been brutal, with Pi shedding 15% of its value, dragging the price down to around $0.6894. That's a sharp 6% fall in just 24 hours. And if you've been holding since February, you know how painful this ride has been, because Pi has now lost more than 75% of its peak value from that glorious $3 high. Back then, spirits were soaring. February had Pi bulls dancing in delight, and May even started on a strong note, with Pi shooting up by nearly 200% in just a few days, hitting a high of $1.67. It felt like momentum was finally building. But just like that, the rug got pulled again. The bullish energy evaporated and the price started tumbling. Now, we're watching it move in a very tight range, hovering between $0.688 and $0.816 like a prisoner trapped in a cage. So what's going on here? Why all the bleeding, and is there any hope? Well, let's look at the numbers. In the last 24 hours alone, trading volume has spiked over 42%, surpassing $158 million. It means people are not just holding, they're moving. But here's the kicker. On-chain data shows that more and more tokens are being sent to exchanges. And you know what that usually means? People are preparing to sell. That's major selling pressure loading up right there. And if that wasn't enough to make traders nervous, there's more. Over the next 3 months, a massive number of Pi tokens are set to be unlocked. We're talking 263 million in June, 233 million in July, and 132 million in August. That's nearly 630 million Pi tokens entering circulation in a short period. Unless demand catches up quickly, this could mean even more downward pressure on the price. Now let's talk technicals. If you're into chart analysis, brace yourself because this isn't a pretty picture either. Pi is trading below all its major moving averages. The 10, 20, 50, and 100-day EMAs and SMAs. That's a strong sign that bears are fully in control. Meanwhile, the Bollinger Bands are tightening, signaling reduced volatility. But don't let that fool you into thinking the storm has passed, because Pi is still hovering near the lower band, and that means sellers are still pressing down. Indicators like the MACD, Moving Average Convergence Divergence, are deep in the red, suggesting continued bearish momentum. The Awesome Oscillator is also flashing red, and there's zero sign of reversal yet. The Relative Strength Index, RSI, stands at 43.6, not oversold, but not exactly bullish either, it's weak. The stochastic RSI, however, is at a shocking 2.77, which is extremely oversold. But even so, it hasn't triggered a rebound. If you've been following trends, you'll know that when the ADX, Average Directional Index, nears 30, it usually means a trend is strong. Right now, Pi's ADX is 29.9. That's just under the line, which tells us that this downtrend isn't finished yet, but it's starting to weaken. So, could we see a turnaround soon? Possibly, but we're not there yet. Here's what needs to happen for a breakout. Pi needs to climb back above the 75 cents 78 cents resistance zone. If that happens, we might be looking at a sentiment shift. But if the bulls can't reclaim that territory, the bears could drag us all the way down to 60 cents or even 50 cents. Those levels are the next big supports, and if they break, things could get messy. But now, let's shift gears. Because while the short-term charts are looking gloomy, there's a bold move being made behind the scenes that could change Pi's future. The Pi Core team just launched a game-changing initiative, Pi Network Ventures, a whopping $100 million fund focused on real-world utility. This isn't just another PR stunt. This fund is designed to support builders and startups working within the Pi ecosystem. We're talking about projects in e-commerce, fintech, gaming, and even artificial intelligence. This move isn't just about hype, it's about building real infrastructure to support token utility and absorb incoming supply. By shifting focus from speculation to real-world demand, Pi Network aims to change market sentiment. In crypto, price often follows utility. If Pi proves its token can power real transactions, services, and products, it creates organic demand, attracts users, and makes the price less reliant on emotional trading. Of course, the $100 million fund won't change everything overnight. The current price slide is real, and unless Pi starts showing some bullish signals soon, we could see more pain in the short term. But let's be real, this is crypto. Dips are part of the game. What separates projects that survive from those that vanish is what they do during the dips. And Pi Network seems to be making its move. So, what does this mean for you? If you're a Pi holder, this could be a test of patience. If you're a builder, this could be your window of opportunity. And if you're a trader, well, you already know that timing is everything. Whether this is the bottom or just another step down is still uncertain. But one thing's for sure. This is a critical moment for Pi Network. The next few weeks will be all about survival, strategy, and the strength of the Pi community. The charts are speaking, but so are the builders, and we'll be watching every move. So, to recap, Pi Network's price has dropped by 15% this week, crashing to around $0.6894 and raising alarm bells in the market. Technical indicators show the downtrend could continue unless bulls step in fast. However, in a twist of hope, the launch of the $100 million Pi Network Ventures Fund signals that the core team is laser-focused on building long-term value through real-world utility. We're watching major resistance and support zones now, tracking token unlock schedules, and waiting to see if that big fund can start turning the tide. Whether you're a believer or just a curious watcher, these next few weeks are going to be pivotal. Now, what do you think? Will Pi recover to $1 before the end of the year, or are we headed toward deeper waters? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you have any questions or contributions, especially if you're building something within the Pi ecosystem, share it below. We read every single one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support our mission in bringing you the latest Pi Network news, price predictions, and ecosystem updates. Join our Telegram group and Facebook page. All links are in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, see you in the next video.